What's up guys, my name is Amir and welcome to my segment called Malaysia vs Hollywood. Now for this video, I'm going to be talking about Rehearsal 3.0. Now if you want to watch the previous version of this topic, click the link up here or the link in the description down below. For this video, I'm going to be interviewing an American actress who happens to be my friend. Now, let's get to it.
Hi, my name is Phoebe Ray. I've been acting since I was about 4 years old. When I was in high school, that's when I transitioned from theater into film and television. I currently have an agent here in Houston, Texas, and in my spare time, I also have a YouTube channel, Phoebe Ray, Day to Day, where I do lifestyle videos for other actors, and I kind of show them the process of what our lifestyle is, what this industry is about. I met Amir about 6 years ago now, 5 or 6 years ago, when we were both living in Los Angeles. And it's actually a lot of fun being able to see his career blossom. Glad I'm friends with him. Glad to see him doing these YouTube videos.
Hey Phoebe, it's nice to see you again. Alright, aside from getting the chemistry down between actors, why is rehearsal so important?
Rehearsal is important because you don't just go into something, you know? You have to be prepared, especially in our industry, because film and theater and putting up a production of any type is not cheap, and you need to be on your game when you're working. And if you're the weak link, nobody's going to want to work with you. It is very important to come in prepared. It is very important to be off book as much as possible, to be as comfortable in your character as much as possible. You don't go into any job and expect good results if you haven't prepared something. I guess in a nutshell, the rehearsal aspect, just make sure that you go in as ready as possible, and to make sure that you can give out the best quality performance, and make sure that you are giving your all so that your end result is the best that it can be.
I couldn't agree more. We need to be as prepared as possible and give our 100% when it comes to the work. Alright, with that being said, have you worked with actors that doesn't want to rehearse? If so, how do you overcome this problem?
In my career, in my experience, I have been lucky enough that I have not actually had to work with people who aren't invested. I mean, we have one job as actors, and that is to put our best self forward and to bring that character alive. In my experience, I've not had a scene partner that didn't feel it was important to rehearse. So I've always had the opportunity to get up, get our scene or whatever it is we're doing off the ground, work it so that we can do our best. As far as if I ever have a scene partner, that's not the case, where they don't feel it's important to rehearse. All I can do is what I can do. So I'm going to take my script, I'm going to go forward and rehearse what I can do. I can't make somebody else do the work. I can only do what I can do. So I'm going to rehearse, I'm going to go over my lines, I'm going to do all my prep work and make sure I'm not the one not taking things seriously.
Wow, never? Really? Wow, that's really good. I wish I would have worked with actors who would want to rehearse so that I wouldn't have any of this problem. And in your opinion, how many rehearsal sessions does one need to prepare for a role?
Honestly, I think it just depends on each character and each production. Obviously, with a tighter production schedule, sometimes you're not going to have as much time to rehearse. So I can't specifically say you need to rehearse 5, 6, 7, 8 times a week. You know, you may not have that time. I think you need to use the time that you do have productively. So if you have one rehearsal before a production goes up, come in ready to work, and then find time, especially like if you're filming, find time in between scenes to rehearse what you need to rehearse. Outside of that one rehearsal, when you go home, rehearse what you can by yourself. If you have a scene partner that's willing to work with you outside that scheduled rehearsal, make the time and do it. I can't give you, like I said, I can't give you an answer that you need this many sessions, because each character, each production is going to require a different amount of, not effort, but amount of time. And you may have a character that you gel with like that. But if you don't, if it's a more weighted scene, if it's a more emotional scene, if you need more time getting into that, then you, as the actor, need to take that time for yourself.
I see. So it's not about the number of rehearsal sessions per se, but it's about how productive you can be in a rehearsal session. All right. But let's see, if there is limited to no rehearsal time, what would you do then?
Personally, if there's a limited amount of time to rehearse, the first thing I'm going to do is figure out what is going on with my character, what situation is my character in, and get my lines down. It is so hard to make something realistic when you're jumbling and stumbling over lines. So that's, I think, the first thing I like to try and work on is getting my lines down. And what helps me with that is to figure out why I'm saying them. What is the purpose behind my character doing or saying the things that they're doing in that scene? Once I do that, the rest of it is so much easier. But if I'm worried about memorization, if I'm worried about did I get that line right, if I'm worried about what's my cue, then I'm detracting from the performance aspect of it. So if I have a limited amount of rehearsal time, I get my basics down first, and then the rest of it kind of flows from there.
Wow, those are some really good points there, and I think it's something for all actors should think about. All right, lastly, what advice or suggestion would you give to a new or independent film production company to ensure they allocate rehearsal sessions for actors?
Remember that you want the best possible outcome for the productions that you put out. Understand that actors are not machines. We are human. So we do need to have some type of way to get it out of our heads and out of our bodies and get it up and moving. So schedule rehearsal time, even if you have to schedule it in between shooting one thing or another. Make sure that you are covering your actors, because that's your production. We want to put out a good product as much as you do. You know, we don't want our faces on something that isn't gonna sell or make you money or bring you an audience, a captive audience. We want to put our best foot forward. We want our face on something that is worth our time. So the biggest advice, the biggest suggestion I can give you is just take your actors into consideration and understand that they want to give you quality as bad as you want that quality, but they can't do that if you don't give them the proper tools. Make sure that there's a rehearsal, even if it's just one rehearsal. And if it is only one rehearsal, make sure it's a productive rehearsal and that you're going in knowing what you want from your actors, so that if it's not going in the direction that you want, you can redirect it. You can give it the nudge that it needs, because we can only do so much as performers. We can rehearse on our own time, we can do that, but if you don't see it till the day filming goes up and it's all of a sudden not what you want, you're gonna be wasting a lot of your filming day, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money to have to redirect things that could have been handled, could have been scheduled and worked out in a rehearsal or in multiple rehearsals. So I would just say, make sure you're giving your actors the time to give their best performances to you.
Phoebe Ray, thank you so much for that input. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure the audience would appreciate it as well. Now, if you guys want to know more about Phoebe or want to know what she's up to these days, follow her Instagram and also subscribe to her YouTube channel. I'll leave a link in the description down below. Alright, that is it for this video. If you want to watch the previous version of this topic, you can click the link up here or the link in the description down below. If you want to watch other topics in this segment, like and subscribe to my channel, and feel free to share to all your fellow actors and filmmakers out there. Until next time, adios!